Hey guys, we are live. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is just, or not just, this is Spencer Bonin from SB Mind Body Balance out here in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia. Just coming at you with another video, and the fourth video of four videos of the fourth step in the foundational principles. And the fourth step, or the fourth video, today we're going to be talking about the four steps of learning when learning any information whatsoever. And I know that, like I said, it is very foundational. And I know it seems like, oh, maybe I've heard this before, or maybe I know it, but it's so important to know these four different steps and to know exactly where you are in relation to any information that you're at right now. Because there's tons of times, or there's tons of things in the world which you have no freaking clue that are even out there. And there's tons of things that you are so competent at that you do without even thinking about it. And we're going to talk about that today. So thank you so much for joining. So let's just get right into it. So, well, the previous ones we've worked on, who do you listen to? The teachability index, as far as what's your teachability at? Are you your willingness to learn, your willingness to accept change? And then there's also the training balance scale. Are you thinking more of the why, or are you thinking more of the how? Are you thinking on your, are you like so concerned with how are you going to make things happen versus, the dream, the keeping it alive, the vision, all that kind of stuff. So those are the first three videos. Today is just the four steps of learning information and the process you go through learning that information. So step one is basically unconscious incompetence, and these are different names for them. It's from an audio series called "Your Wish Is Your Command" by Kevin Trudeau. But so the first one is unconscious incompetence. So what exactly does unconscious incompetence mean? So this is basically, imagine that, just as an example, you had absolutely no idea what golf was. No clue, not even a clue. You've never seen it, you've never heard about it, never watched TV, never seen someone doing it whatsoever. Boom, that's step one. You're at unconscious incompetence. You have no idea that that's even a thing in this world right now. Sweet. It's a great place to be, and we're all in that place with regards to something on this planet. There are so many things that we don't know, so many things that we have no idea are even out there until we go out and discover them. So that's step one. Step two is conscious incompetence. So conscious incompetence now you actually, let's just say, as the example, you're just living your life, going through your day. You have no idea that golf's a thing. And then boom, all of a sudden your friend comes up to you and you said, "Hey man, are you watching the PGA golf tour?" And you're like, "What the hell is that? I don't know golf, PGA, what is that?" And then so now you're at step two. So the first step is you had no idea. The second step is, boom, all of a sudden now I just found out that there's something out there called golf. Okay, cool. What is that? So now you go out there, you're at step two, you go on there. Hey, Balwinder. Hey, Melissa. Thank you so much. So now you're at step two where you're like, cool. So now I know that there's this thing called golf. All right, cool. So now you go into step three. Let's just say you find out about golf, you like it, or you find out, or you look at it and you're like, cool, that actually looks pretty cool. I think I want to learn how to play golf. Okay, cool. So now you go into step three, or maybe you get a coach, or maybe you go golfing with your friends, and they know how to do a little bit of golfing, or maybe they don't. I don't know. And they teach you kind of how to do the backswing, and they're like, maybe your coach gives you a lesson and tells you about that, and it's like, okay, cool. So now you are, the third step is you're consciously incompetent, or sorry, now you're in the step of conscious competence, where you're shown how to do the thing, but now you have to consciously apply it. So like you said, so like I was saying, so your coach, he shows you, like, this is how you do a backswing or whatever it is, and now you actually have to consciously think through that every single time. For me, the biggest thing was badminton. You know, as I'm sure lots of people have seen on this channel before, but basically what happened with me is every time I went to go do a smash, I would smash like this. And like every time I smash would just be like my arm is on this right hand side and it would go down this way. And it would kind of like throw my shoulder off and whatever. So at that point, I was kind of at the fourth step where I was kind of on autopilot. But then, when I went through some coaching, they told me that you had to smash and kind of go across your body like that. So I almost had to like unlearn the fourth step and come back to conscious competence and be like, okay, cool. So now when I go for that smash, I go up and I swing across my body. And every time I'm going through it, I swing across the body and I have to think about it every single time. And then eventually, once you've done that 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 200, 600 times, now you're at the fourth level, eighth, fourth level, which is unconscious competence, which means that you're just doing it automatically. It's just something that just comes so natural because you've done it so many times before. It's like the golfer. He makes an amazing shot and someone says, "Oh my goodness, how did you make that shot?" He just says, "I don't know, I just golf." Or the guy that does bowling. He goes up and boom, he just bowls and he's like, "Oh man, you just got another strike. How do you bowl?" "Well, I don't know. I just kind of bowl." For me, like badminton, "Oh man, that was a great smash. How did you get that?" Like, "I don't know. I just kind of smash." Like, I don't think about it anymore because I've done it so many times. And get this, think about when you are coming home from work and boom, all of a sudden, holy crap, how did I just get home? Guess what? You were on autopilot. You weren't even there anymore. Your subconscious had taken over and got you exactly where you needed to be because it'd been doing that so many times over and over again. Now, the importance of these four steps, because that is step number four. The importance of these four steps is that it always gives you a place of where you're at right now in relation to anything. So if you consider the first three steps, who do you listen to, your teachability index and all that kind of stuff, you know, because you're always in relation to not knowing anything about something, right? So, maybe there's a teacher out there that is showing you something that you have no idea is out there. So boom, all of a sudden you're at unconscious incompetence. And then, you move through the steps. And another important part about this is that when you do want to learn something, it's important to know like that you do have to go through each one of these steps. So let's just say you're wanting to go on more dates, or you want to ask more girls out or more guys out, or whatever it is, in the beginning it's going to be super uncomfortable. Like, you're going to be pushing your boundaries because you're doing something that um you don't have unconscious competence in. You have to consciously do things, and you have to be consciously aware of how you're approaching the situation, how your body language is, if you're coming on too strong, whatever it is. There's a lot of these different things that you really have to be aware of. But then after a while, once you start doing it after a while, you just kind of start going in, you go with the flow, you do whatever, and it's just consciously or unconsciously incompetent for you. And it just starts to work for you, and you don't even have to think about the process anymore. So I hope this helps, and I know, like I said, it is incredibly foundational information, and someone might say it's super basic, but if you take these four basic steps, who do you listen to? What is your teachability index? Where are you on the training balance scale? And then where are you in relation to learning any information? They're so crazily foundational and amazing. If you focus on these four things, they will absolutely radically change your life forever, because you're always going to be on the ball, and you're going to be like, oh, so let's just say, someone came up with a seminar and you want to learn about, let's just say you've been stuck for a long time and you really want to go somewhere and you want to learn how to make money, or you want to break that pattern. Well, it's like, boom, all of a sudden if someone presents to you, here's a coaching program for, like, I don't know, $5,000 or $6,000. And, at the beginning, the coach starts talking about the program and you're getting so excited. You're like, man, I really, really want to do that program. I really, really want to do it. And then boom, he says the price of that program. So, $6,000, I can't do it. Guess what? Your teachability index just went down to zero, and you immediately switched over to the how on the training balance scale, because boom, your teachability index went to zero. You're not willing to change. You're not willing to learn anything anymore. And boom, all of a sudden you're thinking about, how am I going to make that happen? How am I going to make that happen? How am I going to make that happen? Instead of that driving why force of, why do I want to do this and where do I want to go, and having that vision. So, and then obviously coming from the guy who knows exactly what he's talking about. He's been there. He's done that. He's been in your position. He's been there, done that, got the t-shirt. He knows what's up, and he knows what you need to do to have your success, because he's done it. And that's the most important thing. And then boom, having the four steps, knowing exactly where you are in relation to that thing, and knowing that you're going to have to be, boom, you're going to have to be about. And then from there, you go from, oh, okay, cool, now I'm consciously aware of that. And then going from there to step three, oh, okay, cool, so this is how I apply that. Okay, so if I want to make better sales, I need to go and do these things. Oh, okay, so now I have to be consciously aware of what I'm doing, and then you start getting your numbers and you start dialing it again and learning that consciously day by day, observing other people and seeing what they're doing it yourself and learning from experience. And then boom, all of a sudden out of nowhere, you're at step 4 and you're just making sales, no problem, no big deal. It's like nothing ever happened, and like you never even have to work for it. So that's just really an idea of what those 4 basics kind of look like all together. And they're so incredibly foundational and so incredibly life changing because they're everything. They're literally everything with anything out there on the planet is those 4 steps. And if you focus on those things, your life will radically change. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I love talking about this stuff. I could talk about it all day. If you want to talk about anything like this or have any discussions of your own that you want to, chime in about, throw it in the comments. Shoot me an email. Shoot me a message. I'd love to do it, and you know, let's connect. Otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you guys have an absolutely wonderful weekend. See ya.